Welcome everybody to the Kick a Runners podcast special live edition here for the London Diamond League meet. We are just getting started here. The men's 400 meter hurdles is just finishing up, and it is none other than Karsten Warholm taking the win. He also sets a new world lead in 46.61. So we'll recap that and get into the rest of the live commentary for the rest of the meet. But thank you for joining us. This is potentially the biggest Diamond League meet of the year. It is just it's got a who's who of the best athletes in the world, and we've got some huge opportunity for some world records, especially in that mile on the men's side. Project 222 for Josh Kerr will come to a close today. He will either break the world record or he won't. And we are going to see, everybody has voted in the poll. It looks like most people are thinking that Josh Kerr is going to break the mile world record today. So we shall see. 343.13, the current world record set back in 1999 by, of course, Yumi Kajelcha. That's the BU indoor record. My bad. That's my bias. It is Hicham El Guerrouj, of course, 1999. World record 343.13. Apologies, I just woke up. So here we go. Next meet on deck for today is going to be the women's 400 meters. So let's get a poll in the chat for that as we get started here. Who is going to win this women's 400 meter hurdles? Pretty stacked field. I'd say pretty much every race in this meet, looking through the entries, is stacked. So again, thank you for tuning in here. Next race on the track is going to be the women's 400 meters. It's the London Diamond League meet. We've done a bunch of live streams for the Diamond League meets recently, and I think today's has a real chance to be the biggest one yet. All right, new poll is up in the chat now. Who do you think is going to win this women's 400 meters? All right, so to recap that 400 meter hurdles on the men's side, it was the GOAT of the event taking the win, Karsten Warholm. He runs 46.61. That is a meet record for the London Diamond League. I believe his old PR, or not PR, his old mark at this meet was the previous meet record, so he just broke his own meet record. 46.61 is the current world lead now. So not too much of a surprise there, but one thing that was unfortunate in that 400 meter hurdles for Americans like myself, the Americans did not fare well. Trevor Bassett did not end up racing, and Caleb Dean unfortunately took last. So they're showing some pole vault here now on the broadcast. So this live stream will focus mostly on the track events, but if anybody has any questions about field events, we are always happy to check in on those events as well. So as people continue to join in, welcome. I am the host of this podcast. We also have episodes with guests here on the Kick, so check those out. But today we are doing a live stream for the London Diamond League meet. All right, guys, so the next event on the track is going to be the women's 400 meters. We have a poll in the live chat. Who do you think is going to take this win? And as this meet progresses, the events just get seemingly more and more exciting until we get to that men's mile world record attempt. High billing for Josh Kerr, but there's a boatload of athletes who have a chance at taking that win, I think. If Josh Kerr fades off that world record pace, he could lose to a guy like Ethan Strand, a guy like Yared Nuguse. Nuguse also going after that world record for sure. As they are introducing the athletes here for the women's 400 meters. All right, guys, so we are just seconds away from the start of this women's 400 meters here. So Paulino probably the favorite in this one. Currently leading our vote in the poll. Tied with Natalia Bukowiecka, actually. Always wanted to be able to pronounce her last name. Nikisha Price, the Jamaican, usually gets a lot of love in our chat as we have a lot of Jamaican viewers. So I'm surprised. No votes for her at the moment. All right, guys, here we go. Women's 400 meters. And a London Stadium getting quiet here now as these women get on their marks. All right, get your final votes in for this women's 400 meters. Eight women in this race here. Paulino, the favorite. The current world lead, I believe, is Paulino. But don't count out someone like Nikisha Price. They are showing that she has the meet record actually currently. So a stacked field here as these women are off. Nikisha Price, Paulino, both look to be out well here. Bukowiecka will have some work to do as she's already given up a bit of the stagger here going into the next turn here. Paulino really picking up steam into this home stretch now, guys. And Paulino showing why she is the current world leader. Paulino just extends into this home stretch and she is going to take the win. It is all Paulino. 48.97 for the win. Norway's Henriette Jaeger takes second, 49.15. And it was Stacey Ann Williams of Jamaica in third. Nikisha Price falls back to fourth. Bukowiecka in fifth. Gomez in sixth. And then two of the hometown athletes, Great Britain here, taking the last two spots. Again, this meet going down in London. A lot of British athletes taking the line today. Probably the two biggest headliners being Josh Kerr in the men's mile and Keely Hodgkinson in the women's 800. We have a live chat here. Thank you to DoDebrito1301. I know a return viewer here, so I very much appreciate your viewership. DoDebrito1301 says good morning, and I believe good morning in various different languages there, so appreciate the multilingual approach. Ferdinand, again, another repeat viewer here on the kick. Appreciate you being here, Ferdinand. All right, guys, so my audio just cut out. Oh, here we go. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. Ferdinand, always representing South Africa. Love to see it. Ferdinand saying men's 800-meter world record, big possibility. Definitely a possibility there. Wanyonyi going to be taking the line here soon. But he won't be alone, as he will have a very solid field for this men's 800. I know Bryce Hoppel of the U.S. will be taking the line in that men's 800, as well as Brooks Beast Brandon Miller, who has been on fire as of late, as well as some of the hometown British athletes. I believe Max Bergen being one of the strongest athletes for Great Britain at the middle distance events. You know what? Let's take a look at this start list and let's get our poll going for the men's 800. I believe that is the next race on the track. And indeed it is. Going off in 5 minutes will be the men's 800 meters. Ferdinand reminding us in the live chat that we are on world record watch for this event, as we will be for many events today. And yes, Ferdinand said Max Bergen will push him. Congrats to Jaeger getting a PB there, as Doda Brito points out. All right, so let's get this poll going for this men's 800, as we are only 5 minutes away from the scheduled start. Olivia saying 800 is a fun one to watch. A little longer, but not too long. Yeah, 800 is that, sweet spot. It's a middle distance event, and it does require that endurance. But over the past couple of years, it has felt like it's become almost like a sprint event. So kind of that sweet spot between distance and sprints. Definitely a favorite event. So let's get this poll going for the men's 800. Who is going to take this win? Wanyonyi going after a world record. Brandon Miller and Max Bergen and Bryce Hoppel will all be pushing him. Again, I can't include more than 3 options in the poll and then an other option. So if you think that I didn't include your pick, please let us know in the chat. But the poll is now live. So feel free to leave a vote there, free to do. And I'm very curious to see what people think is going to happen. When somebody goes after a world record, if they get it, obviously they're going to take the win. But sometimes it can backfire, and if they fall short, some of the other athletes can have an opportunity to snag the win. Definitely could see that happening in some events today, especially that men's mile, where you've got guys like Yard Naguse and Ethan Strand who are going to be right behind Josh Kerr. We shall see. Ferdinand saying the 1K world record showed Wanyonyi on top form. Yeah, Wanyonyi's been in very good form. All right, getting some votes already on this poll for the men's 800. We are just 3 minutes away from the scheduled start. Wanyonyi, the favorite right now, but Brandon Miller getting some votes as well. Brandon Miller, member of the Brooks Beasts. His teammate, Josh Kerr, of course, will be running the mile later. Actually, just yesterday, I watched the Track All Access lift video. The Track All Access videos are great. I was actually featured in one. They came to video one of our workouts at Boston University while I was still a student athlete there, and that was fun. The guy was very nice. But yeah, just watched the Brooks Beast one where they were definitely highlighting Josh Kerr the most, but saw a good amount of Brandon Miller in there too, getting in their lift. We also had one of our former guests on the kick. Tegan Scheinbecker is one of the Brooks Beasts, and she was featured in the video as well. So check that video out. It's pretty cool to see the Brooks Beast Track Club get to work in that video. And if you haven't listened to our episode with Tegan Scheinbecker, definitely check out that podcast. She joined us live from the Brooks Beast headquarters, and that was very cool. She had a lot of cool things to share, and she'll be racing soon at the USA Championships. All right, guys, 2 minutes away here from the start of the men's 800 meters. Would love to see more people vote in the poll. We have 6 voters in this poll right now, but we have 20 people currently watching, so I know we can get that number up. It's free to do so. Just leave a vote in the live chat. And I can't see who's voted for who, so if you're worried about being judged, it is anonymous. So don't worry about that. Again, our goal for today is a very lofty one here on the channel. We are going to try our very best to earn our way to 500 subscribers here. The channel will unlock a boatload of opportunities and monetization options if we hit 500 subscribers, which would be really cool. So if you guys could help us get to that goal of 500 subscribers, that would be awesome. It is free to hit the subscribe button. It takes next to no time. You can also hit that like, thumbs up button. Helps our channel get out to more people. And I know that our viewership will continue to go up as the meet progresses, as some of the most highly anticipated events in the sport are coming up in this meet later today. We are just about an hour away from Josh Kerr and Jarmila Kratochvílová taking on that mile with a world record attempt. And of course, this meet will end with the women's 800 meters, where Keely Hodgkinson is looking to do something big in front of a home crowd. This is going to be a big meet. We reached 10,000 viewers recently on our live stream on the 4th of July for the pre-classic, and I think we have a chance of topping that, and we are just going to continue to get more and more hyped as this meet goes on. All right, guys, so we are back to the action here on the broadcast. They are introducing the athletes for this men's 800. The Great Britain athletes are definitely getting a lot of love from this crowd. Here's America's Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller been on fire as of late. Again, he is one of the Brooks beasts, and we will see how he's able to fare in this stacked field. Another American, Bryce Hopple, here being introduced. Again, has to be considered a contender in this race. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are just seconds away from the start of this 800 meters. Make your final predictions in the poll and in the live chat as we are about to get underway here. And we are off in the men's 800 meters for the London Diamond League meet here in 2026. Wanyonyi, big aspirations for the Kenyan here today. An athlete from Poland appears to be pacing here. Not familiar with the leader here. I believe he is a pacer. And we are going to see what they come through. 400 meters here. We know that they are going to try to be on world record pace here. And these men in line here, it is Wanyonyi in the lead outside of the pacer. Max Bergen, the hometown favorite, in second, and Brandon Miller in third. They are going to come through 400 meters well under 50 seconds. 49.4, it looks like the official split. And it is the bell lap here for this 800. Wanyonyi is on a strong pace here going after that world record, but that will be tough to keep, and Max Bergen and Brandon Miller both look strong behind him. Brandon Miller has been on fire this season, guys. Don't count him out. He looks good on this backstretch. 200 meters to go. Wanyonyi still in the lead, but Brandon Miller looking strong behind him as he's making a pass on the outside. Brandon Miller moving into second. Shout out the Brooks Beast Track Club. We thought we might have to wait till the mile to see a winner from that club, but it is Brandon Miller running away with this thing. It is not even close. Going into the home stretch, it is all Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller will certainly take this win. How fast will it be, ladies and gentlemen? This could be a ridiculously fast 800 meters here. Brandon Miller takes the win. He is all smiles. And the time, 142.19. Brandon Miller taking the win in the men's 800. Just ran a textbook race here, guys. A lot of talk about Wanyonyi, and rightfully so, but it was Brandon Miller. Again, we mentioned earlier, he has been on fire this season. This field really faded in that second half, as often happens in the men's 800. Wanyonyi, you could tell, was fading as they re-show this final 100 meters. Brandon Miller just opened up a massive gap. He really seemed to be the only one in the field who was not fading at the end there. So a PR for the Brooks Beast, Brandon Miller. Love to see that. 142.19 for him and the win there. Wanyonyi drops back to 4th after trying to go after the world record. Like I said earlier, guys, when you go after that world record, you can end up fading in your attempt to do something that's never been done before. And that is what happened to Emmanuel Wanyonyi here, as he fell back to 4th. 143.3 for him. But it was Mark English in 2nd, setting a PR in 142.97. Max Bergen, the hometown British athlete, running 143.3 for 3rd. But it was all Brandon Miller here, and he is all smiles here, as it looks like he prepares to do a post-race interview. Congrats to Brandon Miller, the American, and the Brooks Beast. Let's check back in with your live chats. Doda Brito says a massive PB for Miller. Definitely. It's like a full second, I feel like. Basically a full second PR. Let's check the official stat on that. His previous PR was 143.14. Today he runs 142.19, so nearly a full second drop in that 800, guys, for Brandon Miller, and he also takes the win. So a breakthrough win for Brandon Miller at the highest level in a stacked field at the London Diamond League meet. Ferdinand says 142.19 PB win over Cooper, no fluke. Yeah, Cooper Luckenhaus, not in this race, but I know what you're referring to, as he recently did race Cooper Luckenhaus and take the win there. So Brandon Miller has been on fire, continuously proving himself. He's not only running fast, but he's also winning races, and that is a very good sign for his future. And I think in a couple years in LA, you'll have to watch out for the American Brandon Miller as a potential medalist in this event. A lot of time between now and then, but exciting to imagine that. All right, guys, so we tend to have a very high success rate here on the channel with you guys predicting the winners. But for that men's 800, we did get it wrong. So we are 50% right now because you all did predict the women's 400 meters correctly, with Paulino taking the win. But this men's 800, everybody thought Wanyonyi. We only had 15% of you vote Brandon Miller. So shout out to those of you who did pick Brandon Miller. Let's get a new poll up for the next event on the track. And that event is none other than the women's 3K, a very exciting event. And I have some personal reasons for why this women's 3K is especially exciting today. And I will get into that as soon as I get this poll up. But very excited about this women's 3,000 meters. And I will tell you one of the reasons why in just a moment here as I lock in on starting this poll. All right, a very deep field here for this women's 3K. So again, I can only include 3 athlete options for the poll. Poll is up. Vote now. Vote other. And if you do vote other, share who you think it is going to be outside of the 3 women I was able to include in the poll. Again, this is an extremely deep field with 20 women. And one of those women in this 3K is my old teammate from Boston University, Vera Håberg. She's from Sweden, and she is representing Sweden today, but she's actually on pacing duties, so she will not be completing the race today, but we will be seeing Vera at the front of this race, which is pretty cool. So Vera just wrapped up her collegiate career at the University of North Carolina. She did 1 year there after spending 4 years at my alma mater, Boston University. I was a teammate with her for 4 years, and she is a great athlete, great person, rooting for her at the highest level here now. At the London Diamond League meet, she will be leading the way on pacing duties for this women's 3,000 meters. Feel free to vote in our poll. It is free to do so, guys. Few people have voted so far in this poll for the women's 3K, and we are just 2 minutes away from the scheduled start of the women's 3K. All right, so Brandon Miller currently being interviewed here after winning that men's 800. He is saying that he feels ecstatic. He said this environment was second to none here at the London Diamond League meet. He said he felt like he was warming up the track for Josh Kerr. Again, that is his Brooks Beast teammate who will be taking on the mile later today. So great camaraderie and a shout out for his teammate there. So Brandon Miller, the men's 800 champ here being interviewed, and then right after that is going to be the start of the women's 3K. You can hear in the background that they are introducing the athletes for the women's 3K. Brandon Miller saying that his mindset coming in was he just needed a lane. I think he's referring to he just needed to enter this race, and he knew he was going to do well. I'm thinking that's what he means. But all smiles from Brandon Miller. Congrats to him. Great guy. Brooks Beast. 800 champ here. All right, women's 3K about to get underway here, guys. Leave your votes in our live chat poll here. Right now, it looks like a 3-way tie for who you guys are predicting to win this thing. So, gonna wait to get some more votes there. Women's 3K is a field of 20 women, and we are going to definitely enjoy having our friend Vera leading things on pacing duties. So, Swedish athlete will be at the front of this race. And then we are going to see how things develop beyond that. Women's 3K is off, but the broadcast is still on Brandon Miller being interviewed right now. So hard to provide commentary when that is the case. Wonder if there's a way to watch it where they don't have like this athlete lounge set up here on Flow Track. It's kind of annoying. But again, women's 3K is underway. It is a race that takes a while to develop, so even if the broadcast is a little late, that's okay. Vera Håberg currently leading the way and pacing this thing. All right, so women's 3K on the track right now. We have a poll in the live chat. Feel free to vote who you think is going to win. All right, and we are back to the action here now for this women's 3K. Vera, as prescribed, is currently in the lead. We are 800 meters in, and Swedish athlete and former teammate of mine, Boston University, Vera Huaberry, pacing right now as a group of Ethiopian athletes are in the pack behind her. Jess Hull of Australia with her teammate Lyndon Hall, her countrywoman Lyndon Hall, in the mix here with a big group of Ethiopian athletes. Jess Hull tends to like to run at the front of these races, but recently she has struggled to close races down at the front, and that has prevented her from winning anything recently. But Hull in the mix here today. Maybe a slightly different strategy here as she isn't at the very front. So not front running as she usually does. Jess Hull. Hull has picked up some votes in the poll here. But the leading vote is other here. So feel free to share who you think is going to take the win. Ferdinand saying Belena for the win. And then Ferdinand also saying that Lyndon Hall will be the best for the Australians. So Ferdinand picking Belena for the win, the Ethiopian woman, but then also saying that Lyndon Hall will finish in front of Jess Hull. So the two Australian women definitely both contenders in this one. We will see how it all turns out. 1,200 meters into this thing. Vera Huaberry still leading the way here. Doing a great job on pacing duties. Shout out to Vera. We'll see how much longer she stays in the mix. It looks like she's preparing to step off the track. So phenomenal pace work by Vera Huaberry. Great to see that. And she is going to step off the track here now as we go into the final 1,400 meters as we are a mile in here. And it is the Australians starting to make a decisive move ahead of this group of Ethiopian athletes. So a bold move here by the Australians. It is Jess Hull, Lyndon Hall, as well as Rose Davies. And then the hometown hero, Megan Keith here. So in London, we have an athlete from Great Britain leading the way now. It is Megan Keith. Will she be able to hold on here? Definitely a sleeper pick here, Megan Keith, but this crowd would go absolutely wild if Megan Keith can hold on to this thing. Rose Davies occupying the second place position. Jess Hull and Lyndon Hall right behind her. So a very strong position for these Australian women as we approach 2,000 meters and 1K to go. So just clicking away the 67s that Vera Huaberry set these women on. So Keith really starting to open up a gap here now. Morgan Keith really trying to push this pace here, and really the only woman going with her is Rose Davies. Jess Hull back in third, letting this gap open up. And it is Medina Isa of Ethiopia trying to step up and say, we cannot let this gap open. All right, guys, so final 800 meters here. Megan Keith still in the lead here. The British athlete fighting to hold on here, but is going to be tough. Leading a 3K for this long in a field like this is very difficult to do. Jess Hull is moving up and closing this gap here now. So Jess Hull looking very strong. Ferdinand pointed out earlier that Lyndon Hall is his pick for the Australians, but she is fading a bit. It is more so Jessica Hull and Rose Davies, second and third right now for Australia, but closing this gap. Megan Keith going to fall back now. You can see the fatigue in her form here. Medina Isa looking strong. As we head into the bell lap here, guys. Jess Hull in second place looking really strong, guys. Could this be a breakthrough for Jess Hull? She has struggled to take the win here lately. In a lot of races, she tends to run at the front, but then has been outkicked a lot. But on this backstretch, she is looking to take the lead. 200 meters to go. Jess Hull looks like she is going to take the lead. Jess Hull charging to the front here, looking very strong. Can the Australian hold on to this win here? Jess Hull has been at the front of nearly every race this season, but in that final lap, she has struggled to outkick the field. But today, it looks like it will be all Jess Hull. Jess Hull going to take this win into the home stretch, looking very strong. Nobody will be able to pass Jess Hull as she takes the win. Let's see what the time will be. And Jess Hull takes the win in a season best 8:24.6. All smiles for Jess Hull. This is a huge win for Jess Hull. Congratulations to the Australian. A stacked field here today. Jess Hull takes the win. Shout out to Vera Huaberry. Phenomenal pacing duties early on in this race. Leads Jess Hull to victory. Looked very strong in that final 200 meters. That's the kick we've been waiting to see from Jess Hull. Congratulations to Australia's Jessica Hull taking the win. And Australia, guys, really strong run for them. Second place was her countrywoman Rose Davies. She sets a PR in 8:25 for second. Lyndon Hall was back in sixth, and Georgia Griffith back in ninth. But Australia dominates this race. Might have thought that Ethiopia could dominate this one, but it was all Australia. Great to see from Jess Hull. And let's catch up with this live chat here. Olivia says outkicked. Yeah, Jess Hull outkicks this field. That is what we have been waiting to see from her. Her kick has struggled a bit as of late, but today it was very strong, and it was enough to hold on to a decisive Diamond League win here in London. Jess Hull, your winner in the women's 3K. Darren Peters says 8:24.6 for Hull. Yeah, great mark for her. And I think she will be, even more so than the time, thrilled with this win here. It has just been so crushing to watch her at the front of races and just lose it right at the end. But today, she is your champion. Ferdinand says, well done, Jessie. Happy she's back. Absolutely. So you guys did predict that one in the live chat. You had faith that Jess Hull could come through here today, and she delivered on that. 40% of our voters did pick Jess Hull to take the win. And that is exactly what happened. So thank you for voting in our poll. Let's get the next poll up here for the next race on the track. And it looks like it will be the 110 hurdles. One of the most anticipated races of this meet. I feel like the event has just gained so much attention after Jacoby Tharp set the world record at the NCAA championships out of a prelim heat. What a story that was. We were live on the kick when that happened. That is quite the rarity to see a world record go down at an NCAA meet, let alone in a prelim round. I think Jacoby Tharp surprised himself just as much as he surprised all of us. And now he'll be taking on a stacked Diamond League field here. Who do you think will take this win in the men's 110 hurdles, the next event on the track, scheduled to go off in just a couple of minutes here, guys? So thank you for tuning in. The TV broadcast has gone to a commercial break, but when they return, it will be the men's 110 hurdles. Who do you think will take this win? As votes are starting to come in, Trey Cunningham gets a vote there. If I had to pick, I think Jacoby Tharp will take the win. I feel like he is just on fire, but we shall see. Ferdinand says, Jesse, 0.3 from PB. Yeah, so Jess Hull doesn't set a PR there, but she is right on it. And I think, again, the thing that she will be most thrilled about is the win. Jess Hull is just maybe the most reliable Diamond League athlete. It feels like every Diamond League meet, Jess Hull is in the mix. So it's great to see her break through with another long-awaited win here. She has been struggling to find that winning success again this season, but she finds it today. So 110 hurdles, guys, is the next event on the track. Let's take a look at these entries in lane 1. It is Samuel Bennett. He will be getting a huge reception here in London as the British athlete Bennett occupies lane 1. In lane 2, it is Jamaica's Orlando Bennett. So we've got two Bennetts lined up right next to each other. Do we have any Jamaican viewers right now? A lot of people tune into this live stream from Jamaica. I would love to hear it from you. If you are tuning in from Jamaica or wherever you're tuning in from, feel free to share where in the world you are tuning in from. Always fun to hear that. In lane 3, it is Trey Cunningham, the great American in lane 3. He is next to the world record holder, Jacoby Tharp, the young kid who just set the world record about a month ago in Eugene, Oregon. We were live for that. That was insane. So we'll see how he follows that up as he continues his young career. Cordell Tinch in lane 5, another American, and the fourth American in this field, Jamal Britt. So USA definitely has a good shot at taking the win here. 4 athletes out of 8, so they make up 50% of this field. In lane 7, it is the Cuban Kendry L. Menendez. And rounding out this field in lane 8, it is Demario Prince, another Jamaican. So a very interesting field for this men's 110 hurdles. Ferdinand says, let's go Britt. So Ferdinand supporting the American Jamal Britt here. And Ferdinand shouting out Sierra Jackson, 71.72 Diamond League record and PR win over Sion. So thank you for that update, as we have not been following along with the field events, but very cool to see Sierra Jackson set a Diamond League record in that women's discus throw. So congrats to her. I think Valerie Sion might have been the favorite there. I'm not as familiar with the field events, but Sierra Jackson setting a Diamond League record in 71.72. Congrats to her. As we focus back in on the track, men's 110 hurdles lining up here now, and we are a minute away from the scheduled start of the men's 110 hurdles. So the broadcast currently kind of talking about these athletes, saying Jamal Britt is very strong, looking really good, and he is well-rounded. So we shall see. Jamal Britt might be one of the favorites, but I wouldn't say that this field has any runaway favorite. when you have the world record holder in the field, that kind of shakes things up. So Jacoby Tharp currently leading our vote for the predicted winner. Get your votes in here, guys, as we are just 1 minute away from the start of this 110 hurdles. And I want to shout out our top commenters thus far today. We have Olivia, Ferdinand, and Do De Brito as our top 3 live chatters here thus far. But this live stream is going to heat up, I know it, as we approach some big-time events. I think we will hit peak viewership during the men's mile, which is just about 40 minutes away now. Josh Kerr taking on the world record attempt in what he calls Project 222, which essentially means 222 seconds for the world record. That is a 3:42 mile in minutes and seconds. Again, the world record, Hicham El Guerrouj, set in 1999, 3:43.13. So Kejelcha's, why do I keep saying Kejelcha? Hicham El Guerrouj, his record in jeopardy in the men's mile later today. I'm so programmed to say Yomif Kejelcha because his world record happened at my indoor track, my home alma mater, Boston University. So that's like the mile world record that I actually was alive for and witnessed. But that's the indoor record. It is Hicham El Guerrouj who has the overall world record in the mile. And that was set in 1999 before I was born. So that's how long it's been since a world record has been set in the mile. It has not happened this century. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind as we slowly but surely approach that event. But first up, it is this men's 110 hurdles. Athletes being introduced on the track now as they line up. And they are getting on their marks as these athletes get down in the blocks here. Leave your final predictions in our live poll. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to predict Jacoby Tharp, but I am biased after watching his world record at the NCAA championships. That really was something special when he ran 12.75 in a prelim there. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Americans look to be off to a strong start in lane 4. That is Jacoby Tharp looking smooth here over these hurdles. Watch out in lane 7. That is Cuba's Menendez looking strong. Jacoby Tharp, with 2 hurdles to go, is holding on to this lead, and he has a pretty comfortable one. And it is Tharp taking the win, 12.89. 12.9, 12.89 for Jacoby Tharp as Jacoby Tharp claps to the crowd. And we don't have his audio here, but he is talking his talk here and clapping as he asserts his dominance here at the Diamond League record, at the Diamond League level. He sets a meet record here in London. So Jacoby Tharp backs up his world record prowess with a win at Diamond League here. It's going to get to the point where you just cannot deny Jacoby Tharp. But shout out to Cuba. Kendry L. Menendez takes second place with a huge PR, 13:01. It's actually not a huge PR, as Menendez previously ran 13:02, so it is just 1/100th of a second PR. But we will take every fraction of a second we can get here in an event this short. And Trey Cunningham did take third, Jamal Britton fourth. Jamaicans struggled a bit in that event, but it was a strong run for Jacoby Tharp. Guys, Jacoby Tharp, I think, has just asserted himself as the best of the best here. Olivia says, hyping up the crowd. Yeah, Jacoby Tharp, a lot of energy coming off that win. Just kind of talking his talk and clapping. We'll see if he joins the broadcast here for an interview. I think he will. And I will update you on what he shares about that race as soon as he begins talking. So, Jacoby Tharp, your champion for the men's 110 hurdles. Did you guys get that prediction right in our poll? I believe you did. And it looks like, yes, the majority of you did pick Jacoby Tharp for the win there. 56% of voters picked Tharp. It's hard not to pick the world record holder, right? Ferdinand says, well done, Tharp. Ferdinand says, push like button. Yes, hit that thumbs up like button, guys. That will help this live stream get out to more people. A lot of people are going to be searching up for a way to tune in for these races as we get to the highly anticipated men's mile. As we have a little bit of a gap in between events here, I would love to hear from you. Do you think the men's mile world record will be broken today? Yes or no, guys? Poll live now. The next event on the track is coming up in a few minutes. It is the men's 100 meters. So big event there. We are 5 minutes away from that. So we'll get a poll going for that soon. But for the next couple of minutes, I would love to hear, do you think the men's mile world record will be broken today? Couple of votes already coming in for yes. I think there's a lot of hype and excitement, but it will not be an easy feat. Vince says, what's happened to Jamal Britt? He was on a hot streak first half of the season. I think Jamal Britt, yeah, he's still overall doing very well this season from what I have seen. Again, I'm more distance focused, but he's been very solid. Maybe fading a little bit here. But he ran a solid race today. He was fourth in just about the most stacked field you could get, taking on Jacoby Tharp, the world record holder, Trey Cunningham of the U.S. as well. And then the Cuban, Kendriel Menendez, was definitely a surprise there. But not Jamal Britt's strongest day, but still, he's still there. Darren Peters says Brandon Miller just ran number 4 all-time 800, 142.19, and number 2 this year. World Ultimate Champs 800 meter final on September 13th in Budapest will be exciting. Thank you for that comment, Darren. Yeah, huge shout out there for Brandon Miller. We were watching and commentating live when he pulled off that great 800 meter performance. Pretty incredible to be that high on the all-time list. And I think something that has been really cool for Brandon Miller is his knack for winning. I mean, he won recently against Cooper Lookenhouse, kind of asserted his dominance then, and then today, while Wanyoni was looking after a world record, Brandon Miller just kind of sat in that second and third place position and then struck in that home stretch and just looked so strong at the end there. So Brandon Miller, a winner and a fast one at that. Shout out to him. Thank you for your comment, Darren. So just a couple minutes away from the men's 100, but we do have a poll going here for the men's mile over whether or not the world record will be set in that men's mile. 64% of you currently voting that yes, it will go down. Would love to hear more thoughts and predictions for that men's mile as we approach it. We are about 30 minutes away from the men's mile, and Josh Kerr will be going after the world record. And I think Yard Nagus will sneakily be doing the same. But we'll see how that all pans out. Ethan Strand has been racing really well lately. He looked great in that pre-classic Bowerman mile. So don't count him out. I don't think he is ready for a world record. But if those men fall off world record pace, he could definitely be a guy to outkick them. So Vince is correcting Darren's stat here on the 800 meter all-time list. I think Vince is correct there, but still, Brandon Miller's time is pretty high up on the all-time list. 142.19 for Brandon Miller today is a very fast time. Ferdinand says, men's 100, I show patriotism. Gift Leotiela, but Nigeria favorite. All right, guys, so let's get the poll going for the men's 100 meters, which is just a few minutes away here. I believe last time in league we were live for, Oblique Seville took the win, so definitely have to include him in this poll. But I don't know that he's the favorite in this particular field. One athlete that I'm excited to see take on this field is the young Keynsola Ajayi, who we saw at NCAA's just a month ago. So Ajayi will be in this thing as well. Poll has begun for the men's 100 meters. I have a feeling that Ferdinand will be voting for that other option. And picking Leah Talela, Gift Leah Talela, as Ferdinand has expressed his support for him, but we shall see. His South African Gift Leo Talela is in this field, so Ferdinand will be rooting for his countrymen. So right now it is a tie in our poll between Oblique Seville and Keynsola Ajayi. I think that is going to be a great battle, but don't count out Jordan Anthony. Do not count out Jordan Anthony. I know he hasn't won super recently. Ferdinand, talking about the men's mile here, says no world record, Nagu, Strand, Kerr, Kessler. 2 Germans, Robert Farkin and Mohammed Abdullahi, my dark horses. Okay, interesting picks there. Interesting that you have Kerr coming in 3rd. I think that actually could happen if he falls off world record pace. You're picking Nagus to win. That could definitely happen. Nagus is definitely going to be hanging right behind Kerr and seeing what he can do. And I like that you included Ethan Strand up there in the top of the mix. I think he is definitely taking that step forward at this level. All right, guys, men's 100 meters being introduced on the track here. They are showing Oblique Seville, who won last time we were live here for the last Diamond League meet. I believe that was Monaco. There have been a lot of Diamond League meets I get mixed up, but I think last week was Monaco, the home of World Athletics. But now we are here for basically the biggest Diamond League meet on the schedule. It is the London Diamond League meet here, 2026. It is a who's who of the greatest athletes, the greatest track athletes in the world. So men's 100 meters here, a marquee event. This will be a big one. Can Oblique Seville take a win? Could Ajayi take the win here? Jordan Anthony also in this thing. This is going to be good. All right, guys, men in the starting blocks, and they are off. Oblique off to a good start, but Oblique Seville looks like he is going to definitely be challenged by Ajayi here. Ajayi coming on strong, and Ajayi going to take the win here over Oblique Seville. What a battle that was. Blink and you miss it, guys. Under 10 seconds. It's hard to say much commentary during a men's 100 meters, but they will be re-showing that, and we will get a better look at that. But it was Oblique Seville for most of that race, but Keynsola Ajayi delivers. The NCAA champ, now at the Diamond League level, wins in London here, 9.84. I believe that is a national record for Nigeria. Oblique Seville takes 2nd in 9.87. Jordan Anthony was way back there, guys. I don't even know if he broke 10. We'll get that update once they list the full results. It does look like Jordan Anthony was under 10, 9.99 for him, but not a great finish, back in 6th place. So Keynsola Ajayi takes the win for Nigeria here. He is just off to a great start to his post-collegiate career. So they are re-showing it here. Ajayi actually stares down Oblique Seville in the final few meters here, guys. So they are next to each other, lane 6 and in lane 5. And Ajayi just looks over to Oblique Seville in those final few meters. We've seen that stare down in some of the best sprint races ever. And Ajayi, confident enough at his age to give a stare down to the Jamaican Seville. So a little bit of showboating there from Ajayi. but he backs it up with a great performance. So Ajayi takes the win in the men's 100, guys. So that might be, I don't think we predicted in the live chat. I think Seville was the pick there for the poll. Yeah, it looks like in the poll you guys picked. Now some votes come in for Ajayi. Those don't quite count as they came in after the race happened. But I didn't end the poll in time, so now it looks like Ajayi was the pick by you guys. So, all right. Ferdinand says, as expected. Yes, Ferdinand, you did predict that Nigeria's Ajayi would take the win. Yeah. So we did see that in live chat. Joe DeBrito says another win over Seville. Congrats, Ajayi. Yeah, he's getting comfortable with that, and so comfortable that he actually stared Seville down going into the final few meters, knowing that he had it. So very confident is Ajayi, and he did back it up. So next event on the track, let's take a look at the schedule here. We are rapidly approaching that men's mile, guys, just about 25 minutes away here. But next up, it is the women's 200 meters. This is an event I'm excited for. Last week at the Monaco meet for the Diamond League, it was a fun 200 meter field, and I was hoping to see Gabby Thomas fare a little bit better. I know that she's getting to be a little bit on the older side, but still rooting for her. She went to Harvard, as many of you might know. That was the neighbor school to me at Boston University. We didn't really overlap, but we do just kind of support each other, Harvard and BU. We often use their outdoor athletic area as a way to do our workouts and tempo runs. We also use their outdoor track sometimes, and they use our indoor track. So we have a good relationship with Harvard. And Gabby Thomas, of course, one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of Harvard. She will be in this women's 200 again this week, and I'm excited to see her take on this field. Of course, the best athlete in the women's 200 meters right now, it's undeniable. It is Julian Alfred. St. Lucia will be well represented here. She has won 10 Diamond League races at the young age of 25 years old. Julian Alfred, the undisputed best in the world right now for the women's sprints. And I know St. Lucia will be tuning in here for her race. So let's see those St. Lucia flags in the chat. Are you tuning in from St. Lucia? Absolutely love that we get so many St. Lucians in the live stream here. Hopefully today will be no different, as we are just moments away from the women's 200 meters. Let's take a look at the start list. It is Success Edwan in lane 1. She'll be representing the home crowd here for Great Britain in London. In lane 2, it is the American Cambria Sturgis. In lane 3, Anavia Battle. In lane 4, another British athlete, Dina Asher-Smith. And in lane 5, another British athlete, Amy Hunt. All three of those British athletes are contenders, but it's just so tough when you have an athlete like this in lane 6, Julian Alfred, the undisputed best female sprinter in the world. She will be so tough to beat. But Gabby Thomas in lane 7, just ahead of Alfred in the stagger. I think that is where Gabby was last week as well. It's tough because she's getting chased, so she can't see Julian Alfred. She doesn't want to see Julian Alfred. If she sees Julian Alfred, it means she's losing. But Julian Alfred will get to play chase once again here on Gabby Thomas. And in lane 8, rounding out this field, it is Shanae Miller-Uibo. All right, guys, let's get the poll going for this women's 200 meters before it gets started. Again, I am so intrigued every time Julian Alfred is on the track, but I really am pulling for a good performance from Gabby Thomas, even if it isn't a win. I believe she was 3rd last week, and it would be great to see her improve upon that placement as well as that time. So let's see your votes in the live chat. Again, can only include 3 athletes as options. Unfortunately, can't include any of the British athletes here. Can't fit them in this poll. I had to include Shanae Miller-Uibo because she is just such an exciting athlete. With a PR of 21.74, I would not count her out, guys. Representing the Bahamas here. She is an old pro. She has, of course, won many Diamond Leagues. More than Julian Alfred, if you actually look back at it. She does have the benefit of experience here, so we will see how she fares. So multiple-time Diamond League champion Shanae Miller-Uibo will be taking on young superstars like Julian Alfred, and we will see how that goes. Let's catch up with the live chat here. Julian Alfred winning the poll right now. Gabby Thomas has gotten a few votes, so great to see that support there. But guys, don't count out Shanae Miller-Uibo. I know she's on the older side, but she has the experience on her side. Ferdinand says, let's go Julian Alfred. Number 2, Gabby Thomas. And number 3, Shanae Miller-Uibo. Great picks there. I actually might have to agree with you 100%. Doda Brito says Ajayi is very confident and consistent. He certainly is. He is looking like the future of the men's 100 meters to me. Ferdinand says Ajayi looks like the favorite for Commonwealth. Doda Brito says his predictions for this women's 200 meters. He's predicting Julian Alfred to win, Gabby Thomas to place 2nd, and Miller-Uibo in 3rd. 4th is wide open. Solid predictions there. Ferdinand says Amy Hunt going to be the top British athlete. Nice prediction there. We'll see what the British athletes have in store in front of their home crowd here. Ewart Bell says Julian Alfred went to high school in Jamaica, St. Catherine High School. Yes. So Julian Alfred does have tremendous support here on the kick. A lot of our viewership here on the kick does come from Jamaica as well as St. Lucia. We have a lot of people tune in from St. Lucia supporting Julian Alfred. As these women are in the blocks here, guys, and we are just about to get underway in this women's 200 meters. It is a showdown between Julian Alfred, Gabby Thomas, the veteran Shanae Miller-Uibo. The women are set, and they are off here, ladies and gentlemen. Gabby Thomas in lane 7. She will have a nice lead in the stagger here over Alfred in lane 6. Will Julian Alfred be able to close that gap? Going into the home stretch, Gabby Thomas looks good. So does the veteran Shanae Miller-Uibo, holding on to the leader in lane 8. But she is going to be passed. It looks like it is going to be Julian Alfred. It is a battle here in the last 50 meters between Alfred and Thomas. Gabby Thomas has a shot, but it is going to be Julian Alfred once again. Julian Alfred takes the win. Guys, Gabby Thomas looked so good there. In those last 50 meters, there looked like a chance that Gabby could catch her. Really strong effort from Gabby Thomas. She did not let up there. Julian Alfred takes the win, but Gabby Thomas definitely gave her a scare there. The official time, 21.66 for the win for Julian Alfred. That's a meet record. It is not a PR. It is not a new world lead. All of those are things held by Julian Alfred. I believe the 21.51 world lead. She runs 21.66 today at the London Diamond League meet. Gabby Thomas runs a great race here. 21.81 for Gabby Thomas. And just, she looked stronger this week, I would say for sure. Takes 2nd place, improves upon her placement. Love to see that. Shanae Miller-Uibo takes 3rd in 22.24. So great to see, one of the greatest of all time in this event. Still looking strong at age 32. Nice run for the veteran there. And then the top British athlete placed 4th. It was Dina Asher-Smith, running a season best 22.28. Congrats to her. Amy Hunt in 5th behind her. So a great women's 200 meters, guys. Julian Alfred once again just shows that she is the top of her class. You guys predicted Alfred to win. She delivered. Let's catch up with the live chat. I'm surprised not a bunch of St. Lucia flags in the chat as we usually have. A lot of St. Lucians tend to join in on our live streams, but today not a huge presence from St. Lucia. Again, we do draw a global audience here on the Kick, so I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Would love to hear where you're tuning in from. If you're comfortable sharing, no pressure at all. Catching up with the live chat. Ferdinand says, let's go sub 21.7 for Gabby Thomas. I don't believe, maybe that was a prediction. I don't believe she was sub 21.7. Gabby Thomas ran 21.8 in that race, but a solid showing. Antoinette says, don't count out Battle. Yeah, Battle, a great athlete for America, but she was not really in contention in that women's 200. Ferdinand says, Battle, bad lane. Yeah, maybe not the best lane draw for a Navia Battle. She was in lane 3, so she was getting hawked down by the field there. Tough when you're getting chased like that. Dota Brito says 21.66 is a new meet record for Julian Alfred. It certainly is. Congrats to her. Season best for Amy Hunt. Good to see that. She represents Great Britain in front of the London crowd there. And Sweet Fish sending the St. Lucia flag there. So nice to finally see some St. Lucian support. Always love to see that. Sweet Fish, are you tuning in from St. Lucia or just a Julian Alfred supporter? Either way, thank you for joining. Very cool to have your support. Ferdinand says, Julian Alfred, love. Yes, Julian Alfred. It's just hard to deny, guys. She is the best in the women's 200 in the world right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. All right, next event on the track is going to be the men's 400 meters, and that is the final event before the highly anticipated men's mile, guys, where a world record attempt is going down. But first, let's get a poll going for this men's 400 meters. Pretty stacked field here. Corey Patterson in this thing, Ride Benjamin in this thing, Matthew Hudson Smith. I think those are the 3 athletes I'll include in the poll, as well as an other option. Poll is now live, guys. Vote for who you think is going to win this men's 400 meters. We are just minutes away from the start of the men's 400. All right, so some votes coming in right now. Very mixed bag of votes here, so I think that speaks to the depth of this field and how competitive it is going to be. No runaway favorite here. Going to be a great battle. Coletta Jones says, yes, let's go Juju Lucia. So another St. Lucia flag there. Always love to see the St. Lucian support. Julian Alfred has her country behind her, that is for sure. Always so cool to see that, especially when I've seen the videos of her returning to St. Lucia with such an outpouring of love and support after her victories. So cool for the young 25-year-old. She deserves it. R. Wade says Ja'Cory. Yeah, definitely Ja'Cory Patterson going to be a favorite here. So we'll see how the American fares in this stacked field. Ferdinand says, let's go, Rye. Yeah, I might myself have to be rooting for Rye Benjamin here. Very excited to see these Americans take the line here in just a couple of minutes. Ferdinand says, Sam Kendricks took pole vault. 5.95 Duplantis retired. Huh. I haven't been following with the pole vault, but thanks for that update. And some more St. Lucian flags coming in here. Thank you, Rena. Thank you, Anne. all of the support for Julian Alfred. Congrats to her taking another win here, guys. It's almost routine now, the women's 200. Julian Alfred owns that event. She wins again today, and I love to see the St. Lucia support here in the live chat. Thank you so much, guys. Very cool to reach a global audience. Someone commenting that Gabby can't go more than 10.8, and also Gabby can't go more than 21.8. So maybe a Gabby Thomas hater in the chat. Strange, but interesting. All right, guys. So we are just 1 minute or 2 minutes away from the scheduled start of the men's 400 meters. So that will be getting underway shortly. The world lead was set. We were live for it about a month ago. It was set at the NCAA championships. It was Sam Agassi. He is not in this field here, but a lot of men will be looking to take down that 43.38 world lead that he set. The meet record here is 43.74 at the London Diamond League meet. And that was set by Matthew Hudson Smith, who is in this field. So Great Britain will be represented. Hudson Smith could be looking to reset his meet record. Definitely will have to watch out for him. The British athlete in front of the London crowd here. Ronnie says, let's go Rye. So more American support for Rye Benjamin. And guys, that is Ronnie Maleo chiming in here in the live chat. He is kick royalty here. The second ever guest on our podcast, Ronnie Maleo, elite marathoner, and a great episode with him. So definitely go back and listen to that one if you haven't. Ronnie, thank you for tuning in here. Great to hear from you. How are you doing, man? Sag says Gabby Thomas is just a 21.8 runner. Don't expect anything more from her. I mean, Gabby Thomas has run faster than that. She ran 21.8 today, but her PR is 21.6. She is getting older, so it will be tough for her to ever set a new PR again, but hey, don't count her out. Ferdinand says Hudson Smith can be boosted by home crowd. I agree, Ferdinand. Great call there. The home crowd does definitely play a role, and he set the meet record here in front of the home crowd at the London Diamond League meet. So Hudson Smith definitely sees himself as a favorite here. 2 years ago, he set the meet record here at the London Diamond League meet. And Matthew Hudson Smith will be looking to win once again. Olivia says, Ronnie in the chat. Yeah. Guys, we have kick royalty in the live chat right now. It is Ronnie Maleo. He says, doing well, Will. Happy to be tuned in. Got to see what Kerr can do. Yeah. I mean, guys, we are just 10 minutes away from the men's mile. We are going to reach peak viewership then. So send this live stream to your friends, to your track fan friends. Not everyone has the luxury of watching the races on TV or the means of traditional broadcasts. There are people who tune in here who are navigating visual impairment. There are people facing financial barriers. There are people dealing with geo-blocking. There are so many different reasons why people might be tuning in here. And what we try to do is just build the best community possible. Track fans are awesome. And I'm so happy that we're able to keep this service free for everybody. So feel free to hit that like button and that subscribe button. It is free to do so and will help more people find our channel. So thank you to everybody for tuning in to our live commentary. We are moments away from the men's 400 meters, guys. And the men are actually on the starting line in the blocks. And they are off here in London. Men's 400 meters, guys. The meet record held by Matthew Hudson Smith, 43.74, the time to watch. Will Hudson Smith defend that meet record? Will he win in front of the home crowd? He's in lane 5 right now. Rye Benjamin in lane 6 already closing in on that stagger. It is going to be a great battle here. Rye Benjamin, Matthew Hudson Smith, and Ja'Cory Patterson all in the mix here as expected. And in the final turn here, this stagger evening out. Rye Benjamin and Matthew Hudson Smith very close together, as well as Ja'Cory Patterson. It is a 3-man battle here. Rai Benjamin looks good, but fading in the home stretch. Rai Benjamin is fading, but he will not be caught. 44.05 for the win. That is a PR for Rai Benjamin, guys. Congratulations to the American taking the win over Matthew Hudson Smith. Hudson Smith was trying to reel him in at the end there, but could not get him. Rai Benjamin represents America in London here. 44.05 for the win. 44.18 for Hudson Smith in second. And Ja'Cory Patterson, 44.25. What a battle there, guys. Man, I felt good about the picks I made for the poll. Those three men were neck and neck going into the home stretch. You could see Rai Benjamin fading, but he holds on. That last 100 meters in a 400 is so difficult for those who have run it before. You know the way that home stretch hits the legs. All right, let's catch up with this live chat. We are officially popping off here on the kick as the next event on the track is the men's mile. Want to catch up with your chats here, guys. All right. Vince says Rai hasn't run his best 400 yet this season. Well, there you go. He just ran his best 400 meters ever, setting a PR on the London Diamond League stage. Congratulations to Rai Benjamin. 44.05 for a PR and a win for the American. Ferdinand says Gabby Thomas can take Jefferson Shee's best 200 meter from America. That's a great battle. That is a great battle there. Sag says, I am a fan of Gabby. Sorry, I was, because I am disappointed for her same time again and again. Fair enough. Yeah, Gabby Thomas hasn't been at her very, very best lately, but again, she is getting on the older side. It's tough to not lose a step as you get older. We shall see if she's able to bounce back and run something closer to her PR once again. Dota Burrito says 44.05 for Rai, new PR. Yes, congratulations to Rai Benjamin, guys. Great to see that. Ferdinand says, yes, Rai. Awesome to see that, guys. And you guessed it, the next event on the track is the men's mile. I can't believe we are just 5 minutes away here from the highly anticipated world record attempt. Josh Kerr has called it Project 222. For those who don't know, that means 222 seconds would get him the 3 minutes and 42 second time to set the world record. He doesn't actually need to run 342 to set the world record, as the world record is 343.13, so he could run 343.09 and get the world record. But I get that the 222 seconds had a nice marketing ring to it, and that's why they chose that. So we shall see if he is able to hold on to that pace that he will be targeting. Yard Nagoose will be right on his shoulder, I'm guessing. And if those men fall off that world record pace, don't count out a guy like Ethan Strand to sneak in and take the win. So we have a poll now live. Who will win the men's mile? I'm curious to see what people will say. We had a poll earlier about will the world record go down. About 60% of people voted yes. So I'm curious to see who you guys think will win, because if you don't think the world record will go down, that might mean you think that Josh Kerr will fade and not take the win. So very intriguing poll here. We are reaching our peak viewership here now. So thank you to everybody who is just joining us now. We are at 90 people currently tuned in, and I think we will surpass 100 viewers during this men's mile. This is the highly anticipated world record attempt. Guys, for as long as I've been alive, the world record in the mile has not been broken. Hicham El Guerrouj set the 343.13 mile record in 1999. So this century, we have not seen a record in the marquee event that is the mile. Will it happen today, guys? Are we minutes away from a world record in the mile? That would be crazy, and I am so appreciative for you joining here on the kick to witness what could be history, and we're going to enjoy it together. So get your comments going in the live chat. Would love to hear from you. Hit that thumbs up like button. Seeing a lot of love coming in right now. Really appreciate everybody as we prepare for this men's mile. I am super excited. I hope you are too. We have been waiting for this world record attempt for a long time here. Basically, we've been waiting my whole life, as we haven't had a true world record attempt in the mile in many, many years. This century, we have not seen a men's mile world record. So let's catch up with the live chat here. Eric says Kerr with the world record. Predicting the world record is Eric. We will see. Zach says, now I'll be cheering for Sha'Carri and Melissa. Gabby is out of my list. Okay, so we've got a sprinter fan there. We just did see a great women's 200 meters, so thank you for that comment. Olivia says, this really would be insane. It really would. Guys, all you'll be hearing about is this world record if it goes down. This will break outside of just the track and field space. It will be worldwide news if the world record can go down in the mile for the first time this century. And always cool to see track break into the larger news. It could happen, but we don't want to get too excited yet. Hasn't happened yet. We will see if the world record goes down. We are 2 minutes from the start of the men's mile, guys. Blookit says, could you see this being like the marathon record where multiple people go under the record? I definitely could see that, guys. Josh Kerr targeting the world record, but Yard Nagus is going to sit right behind him and try to get carried to that world record as well. I think if the world record goes down, it definitely could be 2 men who break it. Ferdinand says Nicola took high jump. So congrats, sir. Thank you, Ferdinand, for the field event updates. I'm completely locked into the track right now with this men's mile going off in just a minute. It says, are you able to play the live audio of the broadcast? No. Unfortunately, due to copyright, no. But, I mean, I'm going to be providing the live commentary of my own in the best way I can with the highest energy I can. And it won't be difficult to bring the energy for this men's mile as, man, I've been looking forward to this for a while. So we're just a minute away here, guys, now. Ferdinand says, no Jakob Ingebrigtsen as rabbit, no world record. Interesting. So, Ferdinand, you think that we would need Jakob here to get the world record? It is interesting. Josh Kerr hasn't set this up in any kind of like special way and like with like ideal circumstances. It's like anybody who entered the Diamond League meet here in London can enter it, and he welcomes anybody challenging him. He's just set on he is going to go after the world record. Interesting. They're showing Simeon Birnbaum here is entered. Pretty cool to see the NCAA champion at this level. I am curious to see how Birnbaum will run this race with these men while a world record attempt is going down. And there he is on the broadcast now. It is Josh Kerr wearing his signature shades, gesturing to them, and he zips up his singlet here as Josh Kerr acknowledges the crowd, looking very excited but also very serious in front of the London crowd here. It is the British athlete Josh Kerr who will be going after a world record. Yard Nagus smiling as well. Man, what a field we have here, guys. Farkin of Germany being introduced, wearing the on singlet. And Simeon Birnbaum. Guys, how will Simeon Birnbaum fare here? Collegiate record holder, collegiate champion. I feel like Simeon Birnbaum could be in for a PR here. And then there is the other NCAA legend, Ethan Strand, also in this. And, oh my gosh, guys, this field is just so stacked. We talk so much about the world record attempt, but, I mean, Nathan Green is in this, Ethan Strand is in this, Simeon Birnbaum is in this, all great recent NCAA runners. And we are officially off here in the men's mile. London Diamond League, guys. We are on world record watch, and how sweet it is. Less than 4 minutes away from finding out, will the world record go down here in London? Will it be Josh Kerr? Will it be Yard Nagus? Will it be anybody? Who is going to win this thing, guys? Leave your final votes in the poll here, guys, as we get locked in to this world record attempt. Brandon Kidder of the USA on pacing duties right now. That has got to be pretty intimidating. Zan Rudolph also joining him, as there are 2 pacers in this one to make sure things are on world record pace. That is a high honor to be leading this race here on world record pace. Of course, Josh Kerr sitting in right behind them, Yard Nuguse behind him, and Simeon Birnbaum running aggressively right behind Nuguse. So great to see Simeon Birnbaum confident enough to hold on to this world record pace early on. We'll see how that translates to a potential PR for him. Ethan Strand in the mix as well. Nathan Green is way back in this pack. Would like to see him move up a bit, but he might be running tactically, thinking, look, if these guys run world record pace, and they fall off, I might be able to outkick them. So Nathan Green, a very experienced racer in the mile, an alum of Mile University, as we like to call it. University of Washington, great milers come out of there. Nathan Green, definitely one of them. So it is a phenomenal field here, guys. Right on the pace lights is Josh Kerr here. He sits in third place behind the two pacers, and we'll see how long they run for. They won't be able to run for much longer, I don't think, as this is world record pace. All right, coming through 800 meters, guys. $151.1 for Josh Kerr through 800 meters, guys. He is on world record pace, guys. Will he be able to hold on to it? He is on pace for a world record halfway through here, guys. And the pacer is still in this thing, guys. Is he going to stay for 1,200 meters? It looks like he's going to step off at 1,000 meters. So 1,000 meters for the pacer. And now it is all Josh Kerr at the front, chasing down history, looking for a world record in the mile. Yard Nuguse looks really good behind him, guys. And it is Josh Kerr and Yard Nuguse running away with this thing. The gap is massive. That is what it looks like to be running world record pace. This field is stacked, but they are nowhere near the world record pace. 246.39 at the bell lap. Josh Kerr is on world record pace for the mile. Hasn't been set this century. 1999 is when Hicham El Guerrouj ran 343.13 for the world record, but now Josh Kerr is chasing it down. He is running away with this, guys. 200 meters to go. It is all Josh Kerr. He has dropped Yard Nuguse, and he is still on pace for a world record. Could Josh Kerr pull it off? Project 222. He's been talking about it for months. The track and field world has been talking about it for months. And now, if he pulls this off, the whole world will be talking about it. Josh Kerr running down history into the home stretch. 343.13 is the time to beat for the world record. Will Josh Kerr be able to hold on to it? He does it! 342.68. Josh Kerr sets the world record. Project 222 comes to an end with an emphatic world record. 342.66 smashes the world record. Josh Kerr is getting this crowd hyped in London here. History has been made. Josh Kerr is your new world record holder in the mile. For the first time in my life, the men's mile world record has been broken. Josh Kerr, ladies and gentlemen, pulls it off. I am speechless, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Kerr has done what has been considered impossible for so long. For the first time this century, the world record in the mile goes down. It took 27 years, but the crown has finally been taken and now belongs to Josh Kerr. Project 222 is a success, and he runs 342 as he hoped. 342.66 for the world record. He carries the field behind him to an onslaught of PRs. We'll get to that in a minute, but we just witnessed a world record in the mile, and I am just in complete shock. I thought it was possible. I was hoping he could do it. I definitely was part of the hype thinking that it could happen, but you never are sure when it comes to a world record of that prowess. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Kerr is your new World record holder in the mile. Jarmila Kratochvílová runs 3:45.6 for second. Jake Hayward runs a PR in 3:46 for third. Robert Farkin, fourth place, 3:46. That's a national record for Germany. Nathan Green ran a PR for fifth, 3:48.05. Arlo Lodwick ran a PR in sixth for 3:48. Ethan Strand, 3:49.13. Thomas Keene sets a PR. Samuel Prackle sets a PR. Archie Davis sets a PR. Guys, like, I think 8 out of 10 of the finishers in this race set a PR thanks to the world record that Josh Kerr ran at the front. My goodness, guys. Josh Kerr backs up all of the anticipation and all of the talk. He says, screw the haters, screw the doubters. I can do this, and he does it. World record just set in the mile. Oh my goodness. Ferdinand says world record. Eric says called it. Iblookit says GG. Dodo Brito says world record. Ryan Maleo says Kerr. Ferdinand says I was wrong. Well done, Josh Kerr. I mean, my goodness, guys. The world record happened. I can't believe we just witnessed that. Thank you for tuning in here on The Kick to witness it with me. That is a moment I will never forget. Josh Kerr setting the world record here while we were live on The Kick. History has been made, guys. Josh Kerr has the flag on his back. The British athlete setting a world record in front of a home crowd of London. Josh Kerr is just all smiles, as he should be. He just set the world record in the mile, guys. I mean, it really doesn't get bigger than that. The mile is like the most coveted world record there is, and people have been going after it for 27 years, and Josh Kerr pulls it off. Guys, we are going to be talking about this for a long time. We have been talking about the world record set in 1999 by Hicham El Guerrouj for 27 years. So we're going to be talking about this record by Josh Kerr for a long time. I don't think it will be another 27 years before it is broken again. These young guys like Cam Myers coming up, they are certainly showing that the future is bright. But right now it is all Josh Kerr. Give him his flowers. The world record attempt is successful for Josh Kerr. And I just am in utter awe of what just happened on the track. This was maybe the most exciting race I've ever watched in my life. Josh Kerr just opened up a huge gap on this field that was running really fast. And you had a feeling when you're like, wow, he is dropping Jarmila Kratochvílová by such a significant margin that I wasn't even watching the clock in that last 100 meters. I was more so just seeing the gap that he was opening and feeling like a gap this big over a field this good is very promising for a world record. And sure enough, he does it. Guys, we reached peak viewership during that men's mile, so I really appreciate everybody tuning in for that. I'm so glad that we were able to enjoy that experience together. Let's get the live chat going now because I am ready to just bask in the glory of that performance along with all of you. Ferdinand says national record for Germany. Well done, Robert Farkin. Yeah, he ran great. Guys, so many of these athletes ran great. This was a stacked field, and I believe 8 out of 10 of the finishers set a PR thanks to the hot world record pace at the front. That's what that can do for you. Pretty cool. Ronnie says, so awesome to watch live. Ronnie, thank you for tuning in here. Ferdinand says Cam Myers will attack record by LA Olympics. I think that Cam Myers is definitely a contender for the world record one day. Ferdinand, that is a good call. The young Cam Myers from Australia definitely could be in line for that. But right now, this is Josh Kerr's moment. This is Josh Kerr's world record. And thank you so much for tuning in here to witness it. Josh Kerr doing the impossible. Project 222 comes to fruition, and he pulls it off with a 3:42 mile, 3:42.66 for the world record. And now the broadcast is going to interview Yard Nuguse. I think obviously they would love to get Josh Kerr, but he's probably a bit busy still signing autographs and whatnot. So let's hear from Yard Nuguse here. He says it was a great race. Everyone went out there to see what they can do. He wasn't able to keep up with Josh, but it was an amazing race to be a part of. Yeah, I mean, how cool to be a part of the world record in the mile. Yard Nuguse second place, runs 3:45.69. That is the fastest he's run in the mile this season. He's got to be happy with that. Holds on for a strong time, despite fading off of the ridiculous pace that Josh Kerr was holding. Josh Kerr does something that has never been done before. Runs a 3:42 in the mile. My goodness. So again, guys, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you could hit that thumbs up like button, really helps us out. Hit the subscribe button, it's free to do so. Once we hit 500 subscribers, it will unlock a lot of perks for this channel. So that will be huge when we can reach that. Not sure if we're going to be able to reach it today, but we are slowly but surely approaching that goal. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, it's free to do. Really helps me out. We're less than 100 subscribers away from our goal of 500. And again, hitting that milestone will unlock a lot of capabilities for the YouTube channel here on The Kick. Really hoping we can do that in the near future. Thank you for tuning in here. Again, there are people tuning in from all around the world for various reasons. Maybe you don't have access to the TV broadcast. Maybe you have a financial barrier, geographical barrier, visual impairment, and listening is best for you. But I am so honored to be able to provide this service for free for all of you. And to be able to commentate and react live to a world record in the mile is such a treat. Again, I'm only 24 years old. I've never witnessed a world record in the men's mile. It hasn't happened in my lifetime. So this is history being made, not only for the track world, but just for world history. I mean, just the generic news should be covering this. I think they will. A world record in the mile hasn't happened this century. Pretty big deal. Ferdinand says, El Guerrouj, still my favorite miler of all time. I still remember that world record, but I love records been broken. Yeah, well, Ferdinand, pretty cool that you were able to witness that record back in 1999. I'm too young for that, but appreciate somebody who experienced it chiming in. I didn't know that you had watched that and are a El Guerrouj fan, but that is pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. It's always a little bit bittersweet to see a record go down, especially when you watched that record in the first place, but it's also great for the sport to see records go down. And this one was due to go down. El Guerrouj held that world record for 27 years, one of the longest running mile records ever. I think that was like one of the lengthiest amount of times for the mile record to be held without getting broken. So pretty big deal for it to go down today. It was definitely time for it. How cool. All right, guys, so we still have a good amount of people watching live. So don't go anywhere, as the final event of the day is scheduled to go off in just a couple of minutes. It is the women's 800 meters. Weeks ago, people were talking about the world record potentially going down in this women's 800. A lot of people talking about Keely Hodgkinson going after it in front of the home London crowd here. But Keely has been struggling a little bit. We'll see. You know, that can change in an instant. So really rooting for Keely Hodgkinson to be in great form today. And I think the London crowd here will really help the British athlete. It did for Josh Kerr. I think that Keely Hodgkinson has had this race on her mind for a while. When she raced most recently, it wasn't her best race. And I think she had London on her mind. I think this has been the race that she has been gearing up for. And I think we are going to see Keely Hodgkinson in top form here today in this London Diamond League women's 800 meter, the final event of the day. You know it is a big deal when they put this event after the men's mile world record attempt. That means that they really think highly of this, putting it in the final slot as the finale. It'll be pretty much impossible to top that men's mile world record. But hey, Keely Hodgkinson could pull off a world record in this women's 800, and that would be amazing. This record has actually been up for even longer than the men's mile. I believe it was 1983, the last time the women's 800-meter world record was set. So technically, this would be even more impressive in some ways if this record could go down. So hoping that Keely Hodgkinson has a great day for herself, whether it is a world record or not, whether it is a win or not, as this field is stacked as well. Addison Wiley representing the USA, definitely looking out for her. And then we have the new 800-meter runner that everybody knows and loves from the 400-meter hurdles. It is Femke Broders-Bol. So Femke Broders-Bol now is taking the line in this 800 meters. She is kind of a wild card in the sense that you never know what she's going to do in an event like this. She has chipped away at her PR very quickly, and we just don't really know how quickly she can improve. 155.6 is her PR, but she could definitely break that again by a large margin. She's so new to the event. So just seconds away from this women's 800 meters now here. Women taking the line. This race has been highly anticipated. Georgia Hunter-Bell was supposed to be in this race, but she is a scratch, so that is unfortunate. But still, we've got Femke Broders-Bol, we've got Keely Hodgkinson, we've got Addison Wiley, stacked field, Sarah Billings of Australia. It's been a great day for the Australians. We saw Jess Hull win earlier. So this is going to be a great 800, and these women are off. So the pace lights are on. I'm not sure if they're set to world record pace. I believe they're set for the British world record, or the British record pace. But we'll see if Keely can just blow that out of the water and take on the world record. So there is a pacer at the front. It is Maloney. She is pacing this thing. Keely Hodgkinson right behind her. Keely looking strong here, guys. Addie Wiley looking good. It is Keely Hodgkinson in the lead with Femke Broders-Bol in second and Addie Wiley in third. All right, guys. Let's see what this 400-meter split is going to be. 56.8, the 400 split. Bell lap in this women's 800, the final event of the day at the historic London Diamond League meet here. We just saw a world record go down in the men's mile, and now it is the women's 800 meters with Keely Hodgkinson chasing down history. She passes the pacer. Femke Broders-Bol, the 400-meter hurdles star, looking great here in this women's 800 as she has made a very convincing transition to this event over the past few months. And it is all Keely Hodgkinson and Femke Broders-Bol going into the final 120 meters here. It looks like it will be Keely Hodgkinson, but Femke looking really strong here. She has improved so much in this event in such a short time. She could be on pace for a PR. Keely Hodgkinson going to hold on to this victory in the 800. Big charge for third place back there, but it is Keely Hodgkinson running 156.21 for the win in front of a home crowd. Keely Hodgkinson clapping. She is happy with it. Maybe wasn't the record that she once intended this race to be, but just a phenomenal win for Keely Hodgkinson. Hasn't had the strongest races lately, so Keely Hodgkinson reasserting her dominance as the top of her game in the women's 800 meters. Great to see Keely Hodgkinson end this meet with a bang in front of the London crowd. Great run for Keely Hodgkinson. And Femke, really strong run for her. She nearly runs a PR. It looks like her time actually 156.46. So about a second off of her PR. But Keely Hodgkinson takes the win. Something always to be said for being the winner. All right, let's catch up with the live chat. Vince says the mile should have been the last race. That's a top billing. Yeah, I mean, I understand why they put the women's 800 last. Keely Hodgkinson, a huge hometown hero. And for a while, people thought that she would go after the world record in this 800. Didn't end up coming to fruition. And obviously, in hindsight, putting the men's mile last would have been the right move as the world record went down. But, you know, it is what it is. Vince says Audrey Vera needs to be in this race to challenge world record. Yeah, that would be cool. Vera would be cool to see face off with Keely. Ferdinand says Keely looked good in interview. She can be hyped for world record. Femke sub 155, Billings third, but Femke could pull surprise win. She has nothing to lose. That was a pretty accurate prediction, Ferdinand, as Femke did hang in there and almost took the win. She's just gotta learn a little bit more about that event. Ferdinand says, well done, Keely. Absolutely. Great run for Keely Hodgkinson. Love to see her taking the win. So, a quick recap of today, guys. Some of the major highlights. Of course, the men's mile world record goes down. Josh Kerr takes that. We saw Julian Alfred defend her 200-meter status at the top of the world. We had a lot of St. Lucian viewers in here supporting Juju, so that was great to see. Jess Hull ran a phenomenal 3,000 to take the win there. The Australian Jess Hull has not won a race in a while, so it was great to see her win today. And then at the finale here, Keely Hodgkinson winning the women's 800. Again, another kind of comeback win for her. So great stories for Jess Hull and Keely Hodgkinson making some comebacks and winning at the probably the biggest Diamond League meet there is, the London Diamond League meet. So great for them. And of course, major story here is Josh Kerr setting the mile world record, 3:42, guys. He makes it happen. Never been done before, obviously. It is a world record. Nobody's ever gone sub 3:43. Project 222 comes to fruition. Josh Kerr sets the world record. We are going to be thinking about this and talking about this for a long time. Where were you when Josh Kerr set the mile world record? I know where I was. I was live with all of you here on the Kick, so I really appreciate you tuning in. Dodo Burrito says, see you all in the next event. Have a nice day. Dodo Burrito, thank you for always tuning in. You were our top live chatter today. Thank you for your continued support. We are going to wrap things up here on the Kick. Ferdinand says, thank you for watch along. We saw a world record go in our favorite event. Yes, we did, Ferdinand. Thank you for joining. It is an honor to be live with all of you today. I don't know if you could hear that, guys, but I just had some major thunder where I am right now. That was crazy. That almost scared me. Well, it's a good thing that we are wrapping up this live now, as a thunderstorm can sometimes cause a loss of power, and that would really suck if that happened during our live stream. But as we wrap up here in the last couple minutes, just want to thank you all once again. My name is Will Loggia. I am the host of The Kick, a runner's podcast. Love running and I love a good kick. I'm going to just send a link from, or not a link, I'll just comment from my personal YouTube channel if you want to check that out. I'll say thanks for joining, everyone. That is my personal YouTube channel that just commented. So feel free to subscribe there. I do a lot of running and track content on there. There's also other types of videos. But I have vlogged from the NCAA championships multiple times. And if you go back, there's also lots of vlogs from my time at Boston University as a student athlete. So definitely check out my personal YouTube channel and definitely subscribe here if it's your vibe. This is the Kick, a runner's podcast. We have episodes with guests from every corner of the sport. Some very exciting guests coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. It is free to subscribe. It is free to hit that like button. Really helps us out here, guys. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. That will unlock some major capabilities for the channel. So if you enjoyed this commentary here today, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It's free to do so. Really helps me out. We are only about, let's see, 90 subscribers away from 500. Hitting that milestone will unlock a lot of capabilities for the YouTube channel here on The Kick. Feel free to check us out too wherever you listen to your podcasts, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We've got some great episodes there. And again, thank you for tuning in today. We still have 59 people tuned in, so I'll stay live for a couple more minutes. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Obviously, we are all still recovering from that world record in the mile. Would love to chat about that. I'm still just in shock. I really did think there was a good chance that Josh Kerr could set the world record, but just to see him do it is another thing. And the way he did it, I mean, this field was so stacked. Simeon Birnbaum, Nathan Green, Ethan Strand, Yared Nuguse, I mean, Robert Farkin. It was just so many great guys. And they basically all set a PR, but they were just totally gapped by Josh Kerr. That's what a world record looks like. And it was just incredible to see. Laureen Dorville says, thank you. Laureen, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate your viewership and your comment here in the live chat. We did not set a viewership record here today. That title belongs to our Prefontaine Classic live stream. That was a fun one on the 4th of July, but it didn't feature a world record in the mile. It did have a great mile in the Bowerman Mile, but it didn't feature a world record. I'm betting Cam Myers is wishing that he joined this field, as he would have been in the mix here. And I don't think Cam Myers is ready for the world record quite yet at his young age, but he could have been carried to a PR for sure in this race, as so many of these athletes were. Again, people are starting to check out here. We're down to 30 viewers. Understandable as the meet is over, but always love just chatting a little bit as I kind of decompress after an exciting meet. Definitely got to drink my water. Voice is in pretty good shape. That men's mile, I was straining a bit, but it was definitely worth it. So guys, we did indeed witness a world record in the mile today. Hicham El Guerrouj held that title for 27 years, but Josh Kerr takes the crown today. R. Wade says, great commentary. Thank you, Will. R. Wade, thank you for joining here on The Kick. Appreciate your viewership. It was a phenomenal meet. I am still reeling from that men's mile world record. Can you believe it, folks? There is a new world record in the mile set just moments ago here. We are going to be wrapping our head around that for the next few weeks, months, and years. When will it go down again? I don't know. But let's all celebrate this weekend as the men's mile world record has been set. Congratulations to Josh Kerr. He talked the talk, and today he walked the walk, or rather ran the run, and made it happen, backed it up. Darren Peters says Mondo had an injury. Sorry to hear that. Hate whenever an athlete gets injured, especially an athlete of Mondo's caliber. Ferdinand says, I watched all world records from British Morocco. Noah was one of the best from Africa. Steve Cram, my childhood hero. Now I'm a Jakob Ingebrigtsen and Cam Myers fan. Also like Niels Laros. Ferdinand, you know your stuff. You are one of our most knowledgeable viewers here, always on The Kick. Appreciate you chiming in with that. So cool that you have witnessed so many world records. I've witnessed a couple, but this is the first mile world record I have witnessed. So really, really special to see that. Appreciate the little history you gave us there, Ferdinand. And it's cool that you're a fan of some of the young athletes here. I think that Cam Myers could have a future in setting the world record in the mile one day, but he's still young. R. Wade says Josh Kerr had said previously he wanted to break the mile record. He sure did. I remember a couple months ago, I was on a run myself. I was down in Florida listening to the Sidious Mag podcasts. Shout out Sidious Mag. I freelanced for them before. That's kind of where I got my start in this running media space. And a great podcast with Chris Chavez as the host. He was interviewing Josh Kerr, and Josh Kerr basically announced Project 222, which was kind of the marketing term for this world record attempt. 222 seconds was what it was going to take for the world record. So I think they kind of found that that had a nice ring to it. 3:42 is the minutes and seconds time that we refer to, but 2:22 had a nice ring to it. And I remember hearing that and being like, wow, I'm going to watch that, and we'll see if Kerr can pull it off. That'll be really tough to do. But here we are, and it happened, and it was a phenomenal sight to see. Ferdinand says, Sam Ruth from New Zealand, also on watch list. Yeah, Sam Ruth, I mean, he's like, we say Cam Myers is young. Sam Ruth is so young. He was 16 years old last time I checked. I don't know if he's turned 17 yet, but I watched him at BU win a race against pros. One of my friends, Foster Malik, was in that race. I think he placed like third or fourth. And seeing Sam Ruth run, I believe it was like 3:48 at age 16, just ridiculous. So yeah, Sam Ruth definitely on the watch list as we go forward here. I think Sam Ruth could be ready to contest for a medal at the Olympics in LA 2028. I know he'll still be very young, but he's just that talented. We'll see. A lot of development still needs to happen. A lot of experience. You know, being fast enough is one thing, but having the tactical race experience in championships is another thing. Cam Myers has seemed to really develop that. In the Bowerman Mile at the Pre-Classic, he looked really strong, and he took the win there against guys like Cole Hawker, who won the gold medal at the last Olympics. So he's definitely asserted that he will be a contender as well. But it is an exciting future for the men's mile and the men's 1500 meters and just the men's middle distance events in general. Big statement made by Josh Kerr here. He is the world record holder, and nobody can take that away from him yet. So we will enjoy celebrating that accomplishment. And I know he'll enjoy celebrating that accomplishment. Pretty cool that he got to do it in London as a British athlete himself. Ferdinand says, Australia 2032, Ruth versus Cam Myers. Wow. That, yeah, come to think of it, that will really be a showdown. At that point, they will be seasoned veterans in 2032. Yeah, Sam Ruth might need another Olympics to really be ready himself, but I think Cam Myers will be ready in 2028 for LA. We shall see. A lot of track will go down in between now and then, and we hope to share some of those meets with you here on The Kick. Egbo Obruche says, who won the men's 100 meters? Egbo, thank you for tuning in now. It was Kensola Ajayi of Nigeria, the recent NCAA champion, who took the win in the men's 100 earlier. That was an exciting one to be live for. He actually did a bit of a stare down in the final few meters, looking over at Jamaica's Oblique Seville. He's now beaten Seville twice. Today he ran 9.84 to top Seville's 9.87. So a photo finish, but Ajayi was confident enough to stare him down with a few steps left. So definitely an entertaining 100 meters as well. Everything kind of got overshadowed by that men's mile, but yeah, a great meet overall. So much fun commentating it and reacting live with you guys. I'm really, really impressed by the fact that we still have 37 people tuned in. The meet's over. Usually people all leave after that, but I really appreciate it. I think it might have something to do with the world record in the mile being set, that people just are still tuned in. I think that's why I'm still going live, because I just have so much energy. I can't end this live stream yet. But we'll wrap it up in a couple of minutes. We have been live officially for 2 hours now. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's not the longest we've done. We've gone over 4 hours on some of these live streams before. Those prelim days for the NCAA championships outdoors, they were such long live streams. I lost my voice. Ferdinand says Jakob Ingebrigtsen will be back. Before then, let's never take him out. Yeah, of course, Jakob Ingebrigtsen definitely at the top. Can't count him out. So such a stacked men's mile and men's 1500 meter landscape right now. Yeah, it's fun, guys. It is a fun time to be a fan of track and field. I'm going to wrap this up in just a few moments here. We are going to be hearing about this men's mile world record, hopefully everywhere. I hope to turn on the news later and see them talking about it. Not just track news. This should be global news. Just generic news. The mile world record was set today, and that is something special. Hasn't been done this century, hasn't been done while I've been alive. So this is something special. And as soon as I wrap up this live stream, I'm going to be scrolling through all the news and seeing all that. If you are on Instagram, feel free to follow. Here, I'll leave it in the chat. It is The Kick Podcast on Instagram. I'll definitely post my live reaction once I get that clipped of the men's mile record, because that was awesome. But yeah, definitely follow there. We have like identical followers and subscribers. So the Instagram has like 400 followers and the YouTube has like 400 subscribers. So it's kind of interesting. I always wonder, like, is it the same people who are subscribed to the YouTube that are following the Instagram? Maybe. Or maybe it's different. If you're not following there, feel free to follow us there. Some great content there. And then wherever you listen to your podcasts, it might be right here on YouTube, or it might be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're available wherever you listen to your podcasts. So thanks again. This is Will Loggia, host of The Kick, saying thank you very much for tuning in here today, guys. London Diamond League 2026, history has been made. World record in the mile for the men. Josh Kerr makes history for the first time in 27 years. He runs 3:42.6 for the new world record in what I personally think is the greatest event in track. Again, I'm a little biased as a distance runner. Sprinters would probably say the 100 meters. Respect to that too. 100 meters, that determines the fastest run in the world. I agree with that. But as far as the, event that excites me the most, it's the mile. So really cool to see the record go down here. Everybody knows what a good mile time is. So it's just fun. People can relate because a lot of people, if you're interested in track, you probably have run a mile before and you know just how ridiculous a 3:42.66 is. It has only been done once before, and it was done today by Josh Kerr, and we were here live on The Kick to witness it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for today's live stream. I don't want it to end, but the meet has wrapped up and history has been made. So thank you again for tuning in. Ferdinand says, try and watch European U18s if you have time. Good call there. That'll be exciting. A lot of great young European athletes who will be mixing it up there. But thank you again, guys. The history has been made. Josh Kerr sets the world record in the mile, 3:42.66. First time in 27 years. Where were you when it happened? I was right here on The Kick. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Gonna end this live stream. Appreciate you all. Hit that thumbs up like button on the way out if you can. Hit that subscribe button if it is your vibe. And thanks again. Peace out, guys.